This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, Aja,
Yes.
name the first variable which has been just declared.
Just declared age, int age.
Good. Okay, Anusha. Anusha. Ashmita.
Yes.
Name all the variables in method 1 that have local scope.
All the variables that are local. Will that be S? Variable to student S?
Bhakta. What's the scope of variable S1?
The scope of variable S1 is age 10, integer age, value 10.
What do you understand by scope?
I understood the scope means the local variables they have.
No.
Okay, then I don't understand. Then I don't know what that would be. I was thinking it will be the local variables.
Krishna.
Yes, sir.
What does variable scope mean?
The variable scope is the time of declaration to the end of that method.
Right, but
Like,
what do we
the scope of student S1 is it's declared from line 14 to the line 18.
Very good. So you explained what scope does, but scope means visibility.
Or its visibility.
Okay, so S1
Okay.
cannot be accessed in method 1
No.
because it's part of method 2. Okay, so what you explained is basically you're saying the visibility, where it is visible. Okay, where you can access that variable. You cannot access anywhere outside this method for the parameters. Okay, Bhatta, do you understand?
Yes, sir, I'm clear now. DK?
Sure.
What's the data type of S1 variable?
It's the student is a reference variable of student class.
Good. Rajan?
Yes, sir.
Tell me which variables are initialized.
Age, for now, I think it's just age and a name.
Give the line numbers.
5, 6.
What do you mean by initialized?
Oh, I think we give some data to them while we declare them.
Right. So where are you giving data?
So on line 5 and 15.
5 and 15. Anish,
Yes, sir.
is that correct? 5 and 15.
5 is correct. 15. Yeah, 5 and 15 is correct. They both are initialized.
Rohil,
I just joined in and sorry, I'm lost.
the question is, name the line numbers where variables have been initialized.
Hold on, let
We
me
did
check.
went through that in the last class. I also gave that as an assignment for yesterday to understand what declaration, initialization, data type, all that means, right?
Yes, sir. One is line number 15, one is line number 9.
Very
And
good.
I can see on the top.
Very, very good. So
Thank you.
Rajan and Manish, do you understand why line number 9?
I think so, since like we're creating a new student.
Yeah, so isn't this initialized?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's initialized.
Okay, all you look at is the literal values.
Yes.
If you see literal values, you guys think that's the initialization, but no. Okay, these are literal values, 10 and John. Is that the only values you have when you initialize?
No, you
Isn't
We
declare
are,
this
as
an
we can
assignment?
introduce.
yeah, student S also you declare as a new student.
Student S also has an equal sign, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
That's also initialized. Okay, this is literal value initializations. Name equals John. This is literal value. Okay, these two are literal value initialization. What kind of initialization is this?
Reference.
Yes, these are reference values. You create an object in the memory for student, and then you create a reference for that. You initialize that reference on S variable. Okay, you guys follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rupendra? What will it print on line number 18? Are you on mute? I don't hear you.
Yeah, I think my microphone is not working.
Okay.
I'm speaking from Sanjay, and it will print 20.
There are two age variables, here and here.
Yeah, that will initialize the initial value will be 10, and after 10 you will change the value, of age will be 20, so it will print 20.
So what happens to this variable? Isn't this a conflict?
Oh, wait. I think no, it will not pass, because in this method 2 you pass only student 1, the student 1, call student 1, then A and B.
Okay, Sabush, there is a conflict between here and here. There are two age variables. What will it print? Sabuj?
Yes, sir. I just joined.
The question is, there are two variables, here and here. I'm printing age. What will it print?
It will print for like the local variable.
Very good. So Sanjay, you were right. Okay, it will Rupesh. The answer is 20. But what you need to understand is there was a conflict here and here. When you have a conflict in global and local, local variable is what it takes preference. Okay. All right, Taib.
Yes.
Okay, give me the line numbers where you have assignments other than initialization.
Assignments, you have line number 5, line number 9, line number 15 and 20.
15 and
20. No, 16.
16.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is an assignment symbol. This is also an assignment, but since we are assigning the value for the first time, we specifically call it initialization. Okay, we don't call assignment, but we more call it as initialization. Okay, the more accurate word. But yes, this is still an assignment. We are assigning John to name. Okay, so this would be exclusively assignment.
Okay.
Vardha?
Yes.
Name the line numbers where we are doing a method call or method invocation.
Line number 8 and 14.
8 and 14.
Oh no, that's a method declaration. Oh no, that's method.
Method declaration, not invocation.
Yeah, invocation. Yeah, line number 10, where we're calling the method, and then I think that's it. Yeah, line number 10. Sorry.
Try one more time. Line number 10 is correct.
Okay.
But there are a few more.
Few more that we are calling the method. 9. But I don't think 9 is. I don't think 9 is a method call. It's just like a reference object that you're creating. What about line number 19? We're returning there. We're not calling it, right?
No.
No, I'm wrong. I don't know if the print line is the method call, because what I can see is only line number 10. But other than that, I can find if print line is the method call too. So I'm gonna call 17 and 18. So that's the method call too, I guess so.
So anywhere you see parentheses, these are method calls.
Oh, okay. Okay, so line number 17 and 18 too. Okay.
With the exception of two things.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is also a parenthesis, but this is not a method call.
Okay.
Here is a parenthesis, but this is not a method call. It is a method declaration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anytime you see something like this, a method, a name followed by parenthesis.
Yes.
That's a method call. This is a println method.
Oh, so that's a method call too. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so guys, these are basics. You need to understand anytime I will be referring these terms over and over. So you guys should understand what I'm talking about. Declaration, initialization, assignment, okay? Method call, method declaration, data type, return type, value, Okay, you guys should understand what I'm saying when I use these terms. Okay. All right, Karim. Ahmad Karim.
Yes, sir.
Name all the return type in student class.
I just joined right now.
But you can see my screen, don't you?
Because I had work. But I will study it again with the record session.
Oh. Have you gone through previous sessions?
Yes, but not all of them.
Yeah, I've seen you the day before yesterday and all, right? So
yeah, I'm running late a little bit.
Okay, this is nothing new. It's already been done. I'm just revising whatever you guys have done so far. Since I gave a day off yesterday, I was hoping you guys catch up.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Salik? Salik Ram. Rajan?
Yes, sir.
Name the return types in student class.
So we're writing one int and Boolean, either true or false.
Very good. Taib?
Yes.
What is the data type of grade?
Grades. This is variable reference.
What was that?
Data type. This is integer.
Very good. Does everyone understand why it is integer?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. S1 data type is?
Integer.
S1.
Oh,
Variable reference.
Reference. Oh.
S1 data type is student. So if you want to look at what grade data type is, you need to go to student class and check what is the data type of grade, which is int. Line number 18. Is there any problem? Or will it be okay? Manish?
I think it won't have any problem.
Good. Why?
Since we're creating a student S2 as a new student, and it's similar thing as the line 21. We just did the same thing on line 18.
Just focus on line 18.
Okay, so we created a new student S2 with reference to student S1. That is reference to the student class and grade from there. So I don't think it will have any problem.
Rajan,
Yes, sir.
what do you think?
Yes, sir. I said we're creating a new student S2 which reference to the S1 student S1, and student S1 is referencing to the whole student class. So I think there will not be any problem.
Sohail,
Here's the issue.
what's the issue?
F2 is a reference type and F1.grade the integer type, as I think.
Very good. Manish, do you get that? Manish, Rajan.
No, can you?
Okay. What is the data type of S2? The data type of S2 is
Student.
Manish? Rajan,
The type of
S2 is
student.
student. What is S1.grade? Not S1, but S1.grade.
It's 10.
Manish and Rajan, please speak up so I can help you understand. See, wherever you guys make mistakes, I'll be trying to explaining you. Okay, whoever is facing any issue understanding a concept, I'll be focusing on you guys to make sure you understand. So please respond.
Yes, sir. So I think the data type of S1 the grade is integer,
Mm-hmm.
and S2 is the whole student class.
This is student, and S1.grade is integer.
Integer, yes.
Okay, so can we assign integer to a student reference? Assignment only works if there are similar data types on either side.
No.
A equals B. This is fine. Why?
Both are integer?
Both are integers. This?
Not fine. Different data type.
It's different. String on the right hand side, int on the left hand side. You can swap it any way you want. Either way it is wrong. So the same rule applies to this as well. Left hand side we have S2, which is student. Right hand side we have S1.grade, which is integer. If you do not know what data type the grade is, you need to look at what S1 is first. S1 is student. In that class, you will see something called grade. So what is grade's data type?
Integer.
It's integer. So this will be wrong. Okay, so would you like to guess this one?
I think it will be since ID and grade both are integer.
Very
yes,
good.
in grade.
Okay, ID is integer, grade is integer. This shouldn't have any problem. Okay, logically it is wrong. No one assigns grade to ID. Okay, logically it is wrong, but I'm just focusing on the syntax. Okay, this is perfectly fine because left-hand side, it is an integer. ID is integer. Right-hand side grade is an integer. So this won't be any problem. Manish, how about this?
Yes, sir. My mic was not working before. That's why. I think this one is also the same. It's a both side integer.
No, this is wrong. It's an error.
That's true.
Okay, go step by step. On the left-hand side, what is the data type?
Integer.
Which is s2.grade, isn't it?
I went to right hand side. That's one.
So right-hand side is what?
Right hand side is integer. That's one.
Where do you see S1 declared?
Student also, it's data type is variable reference.
Where do you see S1 in this method?
I see on the line 14 S1. That's a student.
Yes. And
right?
what is the data type on that line?
That's integer. Right?
Oh, it's variable reference.
It's a reference.
What reference is it? Okay, you have to understand what parameters are, what variable data types are. Okay, you have to go through these things. Okay, declare a class, call their methods, call their variables, and understand what parameters they take. What is the data type of each one of them? Okay, this is wrong. S1 on the right hand side, you have just S1. It is not .grade, .id, nothing. Just S1. This is where you see the S1 declared, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Why are you looking at the return type? When I say S1, you're saying integer. Is this the data type of S1?
No.
So did we write this just for namesake? What was the purpose of writing student here?
Declaring up.
Right, it was for declaring S1.
Yes.
So S1 is not integer, it is student, isn't it?
Yes.
So can you assign student to an integer variable grade?
No. It has to be same data type.
Okay, remember that. Now that you know what you need to improve, practice more on this thing.
Yes.
All right, guys, this, as long as we continue working on other concepts, this is the basic. You guys should be perfect on these terms. You should understand declaration anywhere. These are all declaration. Isn't this a declaration? Int a, we don't have value, but isn't it declared? Int a.
Yeah.
Isn't this declared?
Yeah. Yes.
It's a parameter variable declaration, but it is still a declaration. Okay. What do we call this variable as? What is the exact name of this variable type?
Global.
Global variable.
Global is just a scope, but there is a particular name.
Class variable.
Not class.
Instance variable.
Or instance.
Their instance. What's the exact name for this?
Parameters.
Parameter or local variable.
What is this?
Yeah, local variable.
That's it. Okay, you have to keep up. Whenever we learn new things, scope and this and that, you have to remember these things. Okay, go to all your previous programs and try to understand what are the scopes, which one are instance, which one are parameters, which one are locals. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, on line number 14, you have S1. And then on line number 9, you have student S equals new student.
Right.
Actually, in the last 2 days, as you said, product P2, P3. So you can name S1 as anything And because over there on line number 9, you said student S equals new student. Can't you put student S? That's it, or you can just put whatever.
Anything is fine. I wrote S1,
No.
but they are not conflicting. Why?
No, but my question was, can you put anything like you have student S there, but on the line number 14 you have student S1, and it's still picking up that line number 9, so it's not going to create any problem in it.
That's what I'm saying. If you have the same name, they don't have any problem.
Okay.
Asking why?
You said why?
Yeah, I'm asking why. This is not a problem. You can call S1 S1. You can call
Yeah,
different.
I don't know why.
No, it's the same concept. Okay, you might have come across different things, but focus on the variable. What is the one rule of local variables? They are local. Local to what?
To the method?
To the method. Method 2 does not even know that there is a student S1 existing somewhere outside its own little word here.
Yes.
Okay, method 2 is not aware about what goes on inside method 1. So if you declare S1 here, it doesn't even care because it doesn't know, doesn't need to know.
Okay.
Okay, it's not visible.
The only thing is visible is student, so you can do whatever. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
One. I can declare, now you have a int age here. I can declare another int age here. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because that's a different method and that's a different method. So
this is one person who owns a Nissan car, and there is another person who owns his own personal Nissan car. Do they conflict just because both their cars are named Nissan?
No.
No. They have their own private properties, isn't it?
Yes.
The same rule applies here. S1 int A, B. Okay, I can declare int A here. Does that mean there is any conflicts?
No.
Int A and B existence is only known by method 1 here. And this int A variable existence is only known by method 2. Doesn't conflict.
Okay, that makes sense.
Private personal variables. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So let's continue from the operators, relational operators today. All right. So you guys all focus now, right? Any moment you guys feel you are not focusing anymore, you're drifting off, just let me know. We can stop. All right, so there are 6 relational operators. Now, we use these operators on numbers. So what are the data types that typically are number type?
Integer, float.
Int, float, byte, short, and so on. Okay, so these numbers are, these greater than, less than are used by numbers. Okay, like int, all the numbers and decimal numbers. Okay, number and decimal numbers are used for less than, greater than, equal, and all that. Equal, on the other hand, can be used by any data type. Okay, any data type can be used for equal and not equals. Okay, think about it. Now, if you want to compare okay, so if you want to compare A and B, this makes sense, isn't it? You're comparing if A's value is equal to B's value. Okay, you're just comparing if A's value is equal to B's value, or you're comparing if A is not equal to B. Can you say the same for numbers?
No.
How do you justify saying is John greater than Jane? How do you identify, how do you justify and comparison greater than, less than comparison for John or Jane? How do you justify that? Equal and not equal makes sense. You're comparing if these two values are same or if it is not. But less than, greater than wouldn't make sense for comparing John and Jane. How do you say is John greater than Jane or Jane is greater than John? You cannot. Okay. So equal, not equal, you can use it for any data types. You can use it for string, comparing string, or even Boolean. Okay. Or any data type. You can compare student, product. You can compare any one of those. Okay. Greater than, less than applies only for numbers and decimals. Now, for relational operators, they are comparison operators. Okay, you compare the one on the left hand side to the one on the right hand side. Okay, you compare them. You check if they are equal, if they are not equal, if they are less than, if they are greater than, less than and equal to, greater than and equal to. So relational operator are, you're basically comparing two sides, one variable with another variable. Okay, does everyone understand that? We compare variables here on the left hand side and the right hand side. Is that clear?
Yes.
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 Now, okay, left hand side and right hand side comparison. For equals and not equals, you can use anything on the left and right. Again, the same rule applies. Is it fair to compare these two?
No.
Is it fair?
No.
No. Right? Because A is string and C is integer. It's not fair to compare oranges and apples. Only thing you can compare is apples to apples. Is this apple similar to this apple? Is this apple not similar to other apple? Is this apple smaller than the other apple? It should always be apples to apples matches. Okay, the same rule that we did for assignment applies to relational operators as well. Okay, left hand side and right hand side, you should have a similar data type. Okay, if A is integer, B should also be integer. If A is string, B should also be string. You can only compare similar data types on left hand side and right hand side. Okay, now the third and most important part is, what do you get out of the comparison? Okay, when you compare these two apples to apples, you get the output as yes, that comparison is true, or no, that comparison is false. Okay, so what's the output of relational operator?
Boolean.
Boolean.
Boolean. Okay, the comparison of the output of relational operator is a Boolean. So this is how you can write it. Is A greater than B? What will it print?
False.
False.
False. As you see, right hand side, when you see an equal sign, what happens? We process whatever you have on the right hand side, don't you?
Yes.
After you process whatever you have on the right hand side, what happens next?
The output will be, C will be assigned the output.
Assign it
Yeah.
to the left side.
Okay, as the right hand side output is copied to the left hand side variable. That's what usually happens. So the output of A greater than B is
False.
False.
false. So that value gets copied to C. So what will it print?
False.
False. How about this?
False.
False.
True.
I don't think we can compare that since C is Boolean and A and B are integer.
Again, keep an eye. If it is confusing, you can always put a bracket just to avoid any kind of confusion. Okay, I understand why you said that, because A is integer and C is Boolean. Okay, I perfectly understand where you're going with that. But here, this is a relational operator. Okay, so what we are doing is we are solving the right hand side first. So what is the right hand side? It's an expression. What expression is it? It's a relational expression. So right hand side, we have a relational comparison going on. Okay, so you might be confused like this. Okay, this would be wrong, of course. Okay, right hand side is integer, left hand side is Boolean. But do you have just integer on the right hand side?
No.
What do you have on the right hand side? You have a relational operator, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the entire right hand side. Okay, this is the entire right hand side. Okay, now when you see an equal sign, this is the left hand side, and everything else is the total line is the right hand side. That's how you need to look at it. Okay, what will it print?
True.
True. So what do we have on right hand side?
B is lesser than A.
A less than B. Okay, we have the complete expression. Right hand side, we have A less than B.
We will have true.
Okay, whose output will turn out to be true. That gets copied to the left hand side, the variable C. Okay, so remember the output of relational operator is
Boolean.
Boolean. If I do this, you're copying the output of a relational operator to what?
String.
To a string. Okay, so the output of relational operator is Boolean. So can you copy Boolean to string?
No.
No.
Can't. So what does the error say? Cannot convert from Boolean to string. So Eclipse is trying to warn you, whatever you have on the right hand side, its output is actually a Boolean. So you cannot assign Boolean to a string. What's the error?
You cannot
A
compare
is
different
integer
data types.
and C is a string.
We are applying relational operator on two different data types, don't we? Less than for integer and string is not supported, is what it is saying. Undefined meaning it is not supported. The operator less than is undefined. In other words, it is not supported for argument, int, and string. Okay, so you cannot use less than for integer and string. It is clearly telling you what the problem is. Undefined meaning it's not existing, it's not supported. Okay, does everyone follow?
Yes.
Are there any questions on relational operators, or can we move on with unary?
We can move on.
Okay. All right, plus and minus, I suppose you guys don't have much questions in that. It's a straightforward. So we'll just do some programs. What will it print?
-20.
-20. So you take whatever value A has, which is 20, and then you negate it. Okay, you negate the value and you get -20. What do you get now?
20.
+20.
-20 is A's value. Okay, -20 is A value. On top of that existing -20, you're applying one more minus. So what happens? Negative of negative is
Positive.
positive. Now
-20. Yeah. No.
negative of positive is
Negative.
Negative.
negative. Okay, as simple as that. Unary operators. Now let's focus on increment operators and decrement operators. Okay, they usually have double plus signs. Okay, this is a little tricky. I don't know how many of you got it yesterday, so let's look at it. All right, so we have increment operators. Okay, they are designed to increment by one number or decrement by one number. Okay, so whatever value you have on A, it will increment by 1. 10 becomes 11. Okay, but the question is, when does that happen? Okay, post increment. Post increment means this increment happens on line number 8, like here. This is where the increment happens. Okay, pre-increment meaning
After line.
before line 10. Here, this is post increment. So where will the increment happen? On 11 or 13?
13.
Here. On line number 14, we have pre-increment. Will it happen on line 13 or 15?
13.
And so on. So at this line, A value will be what?
11.
And it will print
11.
What will happen here?
12.
What will it print here?
12.
12.
Yes. 13, 14. It will print
12. So
14.
11. Most recent value 12. Most recent value 14. Okay, and you guys can try this now. Okay, anytime you see pre, you have to increment the variable before you print it. Before this line, before 7, you increment that. And then you can just print whatever value it is. So what's the output?
7.
11.
11.
12.
12.
12,
12,
13.
13.
Perfect. Do the same for minus.
Nine, 9, 8, 7.
9,
9, 8, 7.
any other answers?
9986.
yes.
Any other? The winner gets the coronavirus vaccination. No takers? All right, let's see who's right. Okay, let's see. So what will be the value here? It will be before or after?
Before.
Before.
So
9.
you decrement to 9 and it will
Yes.
print 9. How about this line? Where do you decrement? Before 9 or after 9?
After.
After.
So at this line, it was still 9, isn't it? Right? So 9, 9, this is right.
Yeah.
What will happen here? Will it decrement before or after?
After.
Yes.
So before the sys out, the line value was 8. So 998, that's correct. How about this line? Before or after?
Before.
It was already 7. It will become 6. And 9986. Did you guys get that, or should I give another example?
I got it.
We got
Can
it.
you do one more example?
Well, can you run the loop? Like, it will be easy.
Here's the output.
I mean, like, if we run it in a for loop and assign the increment.
Yeah, so that's an advanced chapter. Okay, a lot of the other folks wouldn't understand what am I doing, right? So when we go to for loop, of course, you have to use the increment operators. Okay, and we'll revisit them. Right?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, try now.
Nine, 9,
9, 9,
10, 10,
10, 10.
11.
Any other guess? Anyone? 9, 9, 10, 10, 11. So Rohil, the first one, where do we increment?
It's before the line.
So A becomes
9.
yes. Since the most recent value is 9, it will print 9. Sabuj,
Yes, sir.
how about this line?
It will print after the increment will be after the.
Very good. So this is where the value will become 10. Okay. So at this line, what was the value?
9.
It was still 9. Okay, so it was still 9. The most recent increment or decrement was at 9. Since here we are incrementing the next line, here it will just pick up the most recent update, 9, 9. Rupendra? Sanjay? Manish?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So line number 13?
13 will print 10, but 14 will be 11.
Very good. It will print the most recent value 10, but the increment happens on the next line. Rajan?
Yes, sir.
Line number 15.
10. It will decrease first.
Yes. It will decrement first and it will print 10. Shrestha?
Yes, sir. So it's before, so it's 11.
Pre-increment. So the most recent value was 10. That will become 11.
11.
And that's the output. 9, 9, 10, 10, 11. Okay, so you have been doing updates, increment, decrement, whatever, right? What you need to look at is when you do a sys out, what was the most recent value? Okay, here you have two values. Yes. Okay, so when you are printing A, what was the most recent? If you go sequentially, 10 is the most recent. Okay, if you're confused with this thing, then you have to pick the most recent one. Okay. All right, so now is everything clear on unary operators?
Yes.
Let's look at this negation. Okay, this applies to Boolean. Whatever value you have, it will basically turn it opposite. Okay, the exclamation mark. What's the B's value? What will it print?
True.
Okay. Boolean A is true. Now when you do B equals A, you take the value of right hand side. So what's the value of A?
True.
True. So you take the value of A, which is true, and assign it to variable B. So it's true. Now, when you apply the negation, the exclamation, right? this will turn anything that A's value is to opposite. So if A is true, what's the opposite of true?
False.
Okay, you follow what the exclamation sign is for? It's for checking if the Boolean value is negative. Okay, you can negate whatever value you have. If you have false, what will it print?
True.
Okay. Right, so the conditional operator and or, okay, let's look at them. Now, just to recap, the greater than and less than symbol is used for which data types on left hand side and right hand side?
Numbers.
Integer. Sorry.
Right, integers, numbers, floats, and all. Okay. How about the equal symbol? What can you compare on the left hand side and on the right hand side?
All.
All of them.
Yeah, any
Okay,
type of
any
it.
data type. Boolean, integer, anything. Okay. So similarly, even for logical comparison, right? Ampersand and or, okay. For these, what you need on left hand side and right hand side is Boolean. You can have Boolean and Boolean. That's it. Okay, you cannot have anything else. You should have Boolean and Boolean. Even for or, you need Boolean and Boolean. Okay. The output of this is
Boolean.
again Boolean. Okay. Let's write down that here thing. Anything equals
Yeah.
okay. When you compare Boolean and Boolean for logical and, you get Boolean. For relational operators, when you compare, what do you get?
Boolean.
Boolean. For greater than and less than, numbers. What does it give you?
Boolean.
Boolean. Okay. For equal and not equal sign, you can use anything: string, string, student, student, product, product, integer, integer, character, character. You can use anything for comparing equal or not equal. The output of this comparison is usually a Boolean.
Boolean.
Okay. On the other hand, the relational operator greater than and less than, okay, for these you need numbers. If this number is less than this number, int, int, byte, byte, float, float. When you do this comparison, the output you get is again a Boolean. Yes, variable A is less than variable B. No, variable C is not less than variable D. The output is always yes or no. For logical and logical or, they are all Booleans. Okay, Boolean on left, Boolean on right. Okay, remember that you can only give Boolean values. So now typically what you do is you go with the standard the logical conditional check. So true and true equals
True.
True.
so true and false.
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 False and true.
False.
False.
False and false.
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 Okay, this is what the logical and output says. Okay, if you have left hand side, right hand side comparison, if left hand side Boolean is true, right hand side Boolean is true, the output is true.
True.
If the left hand side Boolean is true, if the right hand side Boolean is false, the output is false. Okay. True or true?
True.
True or false?
True. True. False.
Okay. For people who don't understand what's going on here, in case of logical AND, only condition is both of the conditions should satisfy. If both conditions are satisfied, left hand side and right hand side, then the overall expression is satisfied, true. In either case, it won't pass. For the OR condition, this is more like either or scenario. What's the either or scenario? Either the first condition is true or the second one. Any one of them you find as true, the output is true. Okay, so like if you're planning, I might go for a movie or I might go for a walk. So it's one of the conditions. You are satisfied if any one of these condition happens. Okay, but you can, if you're going somewhere on a trip, you need cash and you need car. Without both of them, you can't go on a trip. That's not an either or scenario. You need both. Just because you have cash, you won't go to another town or city by walk. If you just have car and no cash, what did you spend on? You'll be just driving and driving. So you need both. So there are certain situations where you need both scenarios to satisfy, and certain where any one of them is fine. That's the either or scenario versus and scenario. Okay, so does everyone understand how the expressions, what is the output of and or expressions?
Yes.
All right. Now, typically what they do, the logical and or, they are used with a combination of relational operators. Okay, they are used in combination of relational operators. Okay, let's see how they do that. If A is greater than B, okay, I'll put in brackets so there is no confusion, and C is less than D. Okay, so before we go here, I would like to show you this chart. Okay, now typically when you are writing code, this is the order of preference. Okay, anytime you see a bracket, that gets the first preference. The next highest expression, next highest preference is these ones. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, because before you learn the and or, you might want to know what the precedence is. Now, if I ask you to solve this, you might get different output in what order you go, isn't it? What if you go from left to right? What's the output you get? 10 plus 5?
15.
10 plus 5, 15. 15 times 1, 15. 15 minus 2, 13. 13 minus 10, 3. You get 3 if you go from left to right, isn't it? What if you go from right to left? 10 minus 2?
8.
8 minus 1?
7.
7 times 5?
35.
35 plus 10?
45.
45.
So what order you process, left hand side and right hand side, okay, the result will be different. Okay, so Java has something called precedence, where it basically gives preference to some operator more than other. Okay, so this is a typical preference. Okay, the highest preference is for brackets. The next highest is the multiplications, and then plus minus. Okay, now let's see. Okay, there are a lot many other expressions if you see. Okay, increment operator, unary operator, and all that. But let's focus on just the arithmetic for now. Okay, let's focus on just arithmetics. Okay, this is the first preference. Then you have multiplication, division, modulus, and then you have plus and minus. Okay, now if this is a preference, in this expression, which is the first one which will be solved?
Multiplication.
Do we have any brackets here?
No.
No. So in the next highest list, we have multiplication, division, modulus. So we do have multiplication, right?
Yes.
So this will turn out to be like this. 10 plus
5.
5 minus 2 minus 10. So now we have plus and minus. They are all at the same level, right?
Yeah.
So now you go from left to right. So 10 plus 5?
15.
15.
Minus 2?
13.
Minus 10?
3.
So 3 is your answer. Okay. So what now?
From bracket. We start from bracket. Minus 1.
Guess the output.
Okay. Let's do. Plus 10. Minus 2 plus 10. 8.
Good. Any other guess? Any other? Eight. So what is the first deduction you do here?
We start from bracket.
Start from the bracket. So 1 minus 2 is?
Minus 1.
What next?
Then we go for multiplication and divide. So we start from left side. 10 divided by 5, 2 times minus 1. Plus
This
10.
is the second thing. Now you have two things. Divide by and multiplication. Both are at the same level. If you have multiple expressions, that are at the same level, you go from left to right.
Right.
So 10 divided by 5 becomes 2. In the next line, 2 times minus 1 becomes
-2.
minus 2. And on the last deduction, minus 2 plus 10 becomes
8.
Did everyone get that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And okay, let's look at this. Now, the first step, what deduction do you do here?
Inside bracket we do.
Like the brackets. This is the one you need to solve first. In this, you have different operators, multiplication, division, minus. Which one gets the more preference?
Multiplication.
Multiplication and division. So if there are two at the same level, you go from which side?
From left side.
From left side. So 8 times 2 is
16.
16. This is your first deduction. Now the second deduction is?
Now division, so inside bracket 2, like 16, yeah, 4.
Next step?
Inside bracket, so 2.
Okay. Next?
Multiplication and division. We start from left again.
Multiplication, division, same level. So start from left to right, divide.
2.
Now
multiplication first. Now addition, 14.
right, so you guys follow? You
Yes.
guys, okay. All right, so now let's see how we use this in combination with logical AND. Okay. Now logical AND has a lower preference than greater than less than. Okay, if you see the less than greater, the relational operator is more preference than logical AND and OR. Okay, logical AND has lower preference than relational or equality, equals not equals, or operators. Okay, so remember this. This is the preference. Parenthesis first, multiplication division next, plus minus, relational operators next, equal not equal, finally logical and or. Okay, let me mix up all and you guys can guess. Okay, I'll just write down here brackets first, then divide, multiply, plus minus next, relational operators, equal signs, not equal signs, then logical and logical or. Okay, so we'll just use these things now. Okay, remember these are the preferences. All right, so do the same thing what we did. Okay, but now we are mixing up relational operators and logical and as well. Okay, remember all we did was from arithmetic operator we have elevated to a more complex expression which uses relational as well as logical. Okay, so write down on a piece of paper, you know the drill. Okay, how the preference goes.
It's true.
True. It's true.
Anyone on false? True. Okay. All right, so Rupesh, are you there?
Yes.
All right, so tell me what is the first deduction we do?
Bracket.
Brackets. Very good. So where do I start from?
From the left.
Very good. So what do I write? Tell me
15.
What do I change in this?
15.
Very good. Okay, this is the first deduction. Very good. All right, Anusha,
Yes.
what's the next deduction?
We do 2 minus 1.
This becomes -1. Okay. Bhakta,
Sir.
next deduction?
We keep moving to the left side. So 4 divided by 1 is 4.
So we just do this one.
Yes.
Right? Very good. So 4 divided by 1?
4.
Okay, remember, now the turn is for the third bracket to resolve. But inside third bracket, we have two expressions, divide by and plus. So when you have two different operators, this one gets the first preference. Okay, very good. All right, Shrestha, what next?
Yes, sir. The bracket, it's become from left hand side. So 4 plus 5, it's become 9.
Rohil, what next?
5 multiplied by 1. Then we're going to compare right hand side with left hand side. And it will be an OR operator, so it will be true or true equal to true.
Manish, line number 49, what is the next step? Okay, look at the preference.
Yeah, it's true equal to false. True or false.
Now just tell me what is the first thing we solve. Okay, you have to go step by step. If you come across a complex expression, you have to follow the rules. Just do one at a time, like I'm doing. Okay, don't jump to direct answer true or false. Okay, you might get lucky sometimes, but not all the time. So it should be methodical. Okay, right? So in this line, what do I solve first?
So we need to solve the greater than, less than.
Greater than and less than. So you have two greater than and less than. So which one do I solve first?
The right hand side one. Sorry, left hand side one. Okay.
Is there there is either left or right. So if I sit silent, you'll again switch your answers. So what is it?
No, it's left hand side.
Yes. So 15 greater than minus 1.
There
Is this
is a negative 2, so that's why.
So is this true or false?
That's true.
True. All right. So Rajan, next. What happens next?
9 less than 5 comparison. False.
Okay.
True or false? True.
That's it. Okay. As simple as that. Now here is the thing. Traditionally, don't deal with numbers. Okay. These are usually replaced with variables. Okay. You will never find a program which has just number expressions. Okay. Since Java is all about variables and methods, isn't it? Okay. Java is all about variables and methods. So in your program, you will come across expressions like this: greater than, equal to, less than, and all that. But you don't operate on numbers. Just for the sake of understanding, I'm giving you examples with numbers. Okay. But technically, in your code, in your program, it won't be numbers, but more like variables. Okay. So let's do that as well. Okay, but you guys understand the expression, how to solve that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now let's see how you actually deal with this in programs. Okay. Okay. It's the same concept. All we did was we removed the direct values and we are dealing with variables now. Okay. Instead of direct values, these variables have values, don't they?
Yeah.
It's the same concept. Okay. The same rule applies. Okay. Whenever you're solving anything, just look at the expressions first. And then you can look at which one you want to solve. Look at what is A's value, what is B's value, and substitute that.
False.
True for anyone?
False.
Okay. False. Okay. Let's go one by one. Sarikram, do the honors. What's the first step?
Yes, sir. We go through the A is greater than B inside the bracket.
Right. So here is the thing, guys, you should understand. Now there are outer brackets and inner brackets. There is one bracket, if you see, it highlights. It ends here. Within a bracket, we have another two brackets, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So total outer brackets, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3. We have 3 outer brackets. Okay. So we start with the left hand side first. Okay. When we go to left hand side, we have to solve this bracket first. But now here is the twist. In here as well, we have another 2 brackets. So now we have 2 brackets. Where do we start from?
We have to start from A's bracket. A is greater than B1.
From the left hand side. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So is A greater than B?
No, false.
Output is false. Type next.
Yes.
Which is the next one we solve?
So the next is the bracket C equal D.
Very good. So C equals D. What is the output?
It's false.
Sanjay, what's the next thing we do?
So next we have to do we can do like false and false equals to false, or we can move to another operator, which is E double equals to F.
Okay, wait. It's not we can move to. It's not up to you. Okay, there's only one answer. You are working on the first bracket, don't you?
Yes, sir.
So you have to solve that completely. It has to come down to one value. Until then, you cannot move to the next bracket.
Okay.
Okay, that's the rule. The preferences, the order, it's all fixed. Okay, it's not up to us. So here, false and false.
False.
Yeah. Okay, remember, you have to follow the rules, whatever preference we have. There is no either or. Okay, it's not up to us. If you slightly do something before other, you might get entirely different output. Remember.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right, Sabuj, what next?
We jump to the next bracket.
Go to the next bracket. Very good. Which is
The second one, E equals here.
So what is the output here?
It would be false.
Very good. Salikram?
Yes, sir.
What's the next deduction?
We go after the N and operator, we go do the E and Z. E is equals to Z.
Yeah. Here we have equal sign and or sign. So we know that equal sign is before the or comparison. Okay, so when you have two equal signs here and here, we go with this one first, left side. So E equals G.
Yes, sir.
What's the output?
True. It's a true.
Sanjay, what next?
So next we have to do B double equals A.
Very good. And the output is?
And the output is false.
Type.
And then we have to do the bracket true or false, which is true.
Type, what's next?
So we do the false or false. Is it?
Are we out of all the brackets yet?
No, we do the bracket true or false. So true or false is true.
Remember, you have to completely resolve everything in the brackets down to one value. Until then, you cannot move on with other expression. If you're working on bracket number 2 or bracket number 3, it should completely resolve to either true or false. It should come down to one single value. Until then, you cannot proceed. All right, so now that we are here, Rajan, what next?
Yes, sir. So we're going to start from the left side. False equal to false is false.
Very good.
And false and true is equal. It's going to be false.
That's it. It's not that scary, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do this exercise. Okay. So I guess this is the right place to stop, isn't it?
Yes.
If you guys are still, up, if you guys are still awake, we can do one more. But yeah, if this is enough, then we can stop.
We can do one more.
Does everyone agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so ternary operator is something we'll cover when we go to if else, because this is like a shorthand coding. Okay, this won't make sense unless you know what a if else is. Okay, so we'll cover ternary when we get there. Let's look at the instance of. Okay, So instance of operator is used to check what kind of object it is. Okay, again, this will make more sense when you're looking at inheritance. Okay, when you go to inheritance chapter, instance of will make more sense. Okay, but I will just tell you how to compare that. Okay, sometimes your program doesn't know what is the data type of a variable. Okay, sometimes your program is blind towards the actual data type of a variable. So if you don't know what's the data type of E, you can use instance of to check if it is a data type that you're looking for. Okay, so here it says true because of course we can see here E is
String type. Yeah.
All right, so let me see if I have an example for inheritance here. Okay. Okay, so but we won't go in much detail, but just remember that this applies to inheritance. Okay, so what we are checking is if Hyundai belongs to a parent class car. Okay, so if you see here, Hyundai is extending the car program. Okay, there is an inheritance going on. There is a car program and there is a child program, Hyundai, which is basically inheriting from car program. So if you're not sure what program Hyundai car is inheriting from, we use something called Instanceof. H is a data type of Hyundai, right? So we are checking if H is instance of the car program. That's what we're checking here. It gives you true. H is instance of car. It's a inheritance of car program. Okay, so that's what we usually do when we are, if we are not sure what is the inheritance for a program, we use the instance of operator to check that. Again, don't worry about that. You will go in detail when we go to inheritance chapter. Okay, just a highlight for you. We use it for comparing inheritance classes. All right, so the last one in the bitwise is the bitwise operator. So you guys already know what a bit is, right? What are the values you have in bits? In one bit, what's the value you have?
8 bytes.
No. 1 byte has 8 bits. It's a binary system. So what's the possible value in a bit?
0, 1.
0 or 1. Okay, so if you recall from our first class, this is how we store information, don't we?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so this is how we store information. Okay, so there is something called bitwise operator. Okay, it applies just like your ampersand and or, but it applies to ones and zeros instead of true and false. Okay, now for and logical or, both the sides you have booleans, right? For bitwise operator, we compare bits, ones and zeros, rather than comparing boolean and boolean. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. So how do you write the number 7?
Four plus 3. So 4 plus 2 plus 1.
1 1 1.
Okay, 1 1 1.
1.
This is how you write the number 7, right?
Yeah.
How do you write number 5?
1 0 1.
1 0 1. Okay, so that's how you write number 5. Now bitwise operator has two things. It has ampersand or, and there is something called tilde. Okay, I don't see that symbol in my keyboard. Yeah, this one. Okay, so how, you already know how AND operates, right? How does AND operate? What's the values you need? True, false, false.
Boolean, true or false.
Boolean.
So for AND, when do you get the value true?
True and true.
True and true. Okay. Now here in bitwise operator, consider 1 as true and 0 as false. Okay. Consider 1 as true and 0 as false. So if I write 7 ampersand 5, what would you get?
7 false.
Five. Okay, so let's look at this. Why is 7 ampersand 5 equals to 5? Let's see. First of all, you know the value of 7, if you convert to bit, becomes 1 1 1, isn't it? Okay, so you guys got this part, right?
Oh.
Yes.
So now for value of 5, we know that it is 1 0 1. Okay, so when you do 7 and 5, this is what happens. It is ampersand. Ampersand meaning 1 1 is true, true is
True.
1.
True, false is
0.
false.
False.
True, true is
True. 1. Oh, okay.
So when you add up this, what number did you get?
5.
5. Okay, so that's what bitwise operator is. You convert the number into bits, 1 1 1, like that, and then you apply the same concept as true, true, false, false, and all that. So what do you do for 7 bitwise or 5? What's the result you get?
True or true, false.
7.
Or 1 1 is, or true, true is
True.
True.
True, false is
True.
True.
true, true.
True.
So 7 bitwise or 5 is
7.
7.
7.
okay. That's the output for 7 bitwise and 5, and 7 bitwise or 5. Okay. Now the last one there is the tilde. Okay, so here this is what we call exclusive OR. Okay, exclusive OR means it is basically both bit cannot be 0 or 1. You need to have an either or kind of scenario. Okay. Now this, you cannot have both bits on or both bits off. So when I do this, which one of these are both bits on or true?
7.
These are both true, right?
True.
So this is false then. This is either or condition, right? Either or. So this will be true.
True. Okay.
This
False. 0.
false. So 0 and 0.
3. It's a 2.
2.
Okay. It is called exclusive OR. Exclusive OR meaning usual OR scenario or the OR sentence is used by either or kind of thing. Okay. So if you have any bits which is 1 0 or 0 1, okay, only they will be on. The other two will be off. Okay. What if I have something like this? Okay, so what is the answer for this in AND? If I do bitwise AND for this, what is the answer?
True. True.
Bitwise AND.
1 in that column. First one.
Okay, I want bitwise AND, bitwise OR, and exclusive OR. Okay, check the two inputs you have. These two numbers is what I gave you, and I want the answer for AND or exclusive OR. The first one, what's the number?
1 1. It's gonna be 2.
I'll just remove this. Okay, you can answer these three. All right, so what's the number for logical AND on these two numbers?
It's gonna be 1.
1.
1,
1.
0.
0.
AND means what? 1, 1 is 1, isn't it? True, true, true.
Yes.
Everything else is false, isn't it?
Yes, sir. 1 0 1.
Okay. For the bitwise OR, the condition is either one of them should be true.
True.
True, true.
37.
0, 0.
0.
0, 1.
0.
It is all.
Sorry.
1.
1.
1.
Yes.
1, 1.
1.
1.
1, 0.
1.
1.
1, 1.
1.
For the exclusive OR, remember, only either or scenarios. It should be 0, 1, 1, 0.
Yes, sir.
0.
1, 1.
0.
0.
1.
1.
0.
0.
1.
1.
1.
0.
0.
That's it. Okay, so these are the bitwise and, bitwise or, bitwise exclusive. Okay, and or shouldn't be a problem for you because you already know the true, 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 false, all that thing. Only thing you guys might need to know is about this exclusive or. In this case, it will only be true if it is true, false, sorry, false, true, or true, false. Only in these two cases, it will be true. But everything else, false, 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 true, true, false. Okay, that's how this exclusive or works. Okay, so yes.
Where do we use this exclusive or? Like, you have an example or something?
Not okay. To be honest, I have never used in that in my 16 years of experience. To be frank. Okay, but yeah, you never know. If you are working on something like electronic devices, right? So there they usually use this bitwise, the logical operators quite often. So these ones and zeros could represent something like a switch. If the light is on, light is off. You see? If the light is on, light is off, do something else. Okay, but technically, programming wise, I wouldn't know what exactly you would use it for. Any of this bitwise operator. Okay. Any of the bitwise operator, I have never used it myself. Okay. So whatever website program you are doing, you might not need it. Okay, because we as the programmer, web developers, we never deal anything at the print level, right? We develop program at a very high level, application level program. So you'll never have to use any of this.
Why you ask them?
Okay, but yes, the equality, relational, unary, conditional, these things you guys will be using heavily. Okay, your programs will be using this very, very often. Okay, bitwise, even Instanceof, we use Instanceof quite often as well. Bitwise, I wouldn't see the use case, at least for the web development, J2E and all. Okay, but yes, if you had to, you have an option. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll stop here.
Excuse me.
Yes.